All right, in this video, I'm going to be showing you my nanite repair paste PI setup using only one account, 3 characters. We have a total of 18 planets available to us, but we don't have to actually use all of them. We are trying to lessen the number of planets that are required because that is one less planet you have to travel to when you go and pick up everything. But I'm going to show you how each one of these are set up. It might change depending on what planet types are available in your system. But generally speaking, we're not doing any secondary or tertiary sources of P1 with the exception of industrial fibers, and I'll kind of explain why we're actually doing double on that one. So let's go ahead and look at the spreadsheet here so that you can get a better idea of the spread before we actually go look at the characters here. These are all the different P1s that are required to go into nanite repair paste. As you can see here, we've got 2 sources of the industrial fibers and then just 1 source of everything else spread across 2 characters. So this character has 6 planets, and then this is a total of 6 planets as well. You can just do this with 11, but industrial fibers is not in a system. It is not in the main system I operate in. These 2 planets are actually in a different system adjacent. So by having 2 sources there, we don't have to go over there and pick up as much. If that industrial fiber, if those tempered planets were in the same area, then we would just do the 1 source and save ourselves a planet there. But let's go and look at the first guy here. And the thing is the other goal with this was we're not doing high yield. Our goal is to have a sustainable and consistent output, and that's why our extractor planets are set up the way they are. So as you can see here, this planet or this character has biofuels, and it has silicon, water, oxidizing compounds, oxygen, and biomass. All these planets are set up the exact same way. We're using a 4 factory 2 extractor setup here with 1 launch pad. This extractor is running 10 heads, and then this one is running 7. This is the same configuration for all 6 of these planets. Now, the reason why this double extractor is nice is we can run it for a day or 2 because we're on 24-hour cycles. We run it for a day or 2, it fills up. We just have a ton of raw that we can work with, and it means that these 4 factories can run basically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We don't necessarily have to reset these extractors every 24 hours. We kind of come in here and look, and when we start getting low on raw, then we will actually turn them over. The reason why that's important is because if you're not extracting, you're letting the planet density kind of rebuild a little bit. So after this extractor cycle is complete, this density won't be as great. But then if we go off 2 days or 3 days or 4 days and not pulling from the planet, that stuff refills, and then we can turn the extractor back on and get a lot of consistency there. So let's just go ahead and real quick go through all these. As you can see, everything's going to be set up the exact same way. Now, depending on what planet types are in your system, your configuration per character might be a little different. But as you can see here, everything is set up basically the same way. And we have a lot of these have a good amount of raw in them. So after this cycle on this one, for instance, we probably won't even reset that and give it like a day or 2 break on this one. So that is Alt 1. All of this is required for nanite repair paste. So now we're going to go ahead and go to Alt number 2. The reason why it's important, and the reason why it was a big goal to only use 1 account, is because if we can make billions and billions with this setup, and we're only responsible for 1 omega if we're paying through our gameplay. And that's definitely a nice goal. If you're not using ISK that you earn in game to pay for omega, that's just a very simple way to only require 1 account to do a considerable amount of income. So here we go. This is the other alt. So like I said, you don't actually need this secondary industrial fibers, but I do this because these are in a separate system. So it allows me to double up and not necessarily have to go over there, but every couple of days or so. But these, just like the other one, are set up with the 4 factory 2 extractor setup, and we basically run it until we're full on P0, the raw, and then we just kind of let it chill. We also have precious metals over here, and then we have the bacteria set up the same way, and then plasmoids on the lava planet, and then the reactive metals down here on the storm planet. Now this guy is full of raw right now, so we definitely don't need to reset this guy on the next rotation around. But I figure since we were making this video this morning, I'd go ahead and restart everybody just so you can kind of see a cleaner look for everything. But most of the time when I'm going and picking up this stuff, those extractors are not running because you only have to run them like maybe twice a week, which is really great. Now, that's all the extraction sides, right? Those are easy. You just log into those characters, you'll pick up those guys really quick. It's only like 12 planets. If you use a nice, fast transport ship, it takes no time at all. And then you have the main here. The main is actually responsible for doing all the processing beyond P1, all the way down to the nanite repair paste being ran from manufacturing. Now, we intentionally have everything in process only on 4 planets here. This actually gives us an extra 2 planets to do whatever we want to do, because this is a simplification. We are able to go and dump the plasmoids, the reactive metals, the water, and the bacteria all into this process planet. And this process planet will actually shoot out the superconductors and the nanites. This is a 25 factory setup with 1 launch pad. So I think we have like 12 superconductors, and then we have 13 of the nanites, because you do need a little bit more nanites than everything else. Now, you won't necessarily be able to put 25 factories on every planet type. Like gas, you will only be able to do 24 because the radius is so much higher. That's why we want to look at like barren, lava, storm, or ice for doing process, because gas, the radius is just too high. The links become too long, and you just don't have enough headroom for that CPU and that power grid. So this is superconductors and nanite repair or nanites. This next planet here, same setup on a barren. This is going to be doing our super tensile plastics that takes oxygen and biomass. This is actually a really cool planet because the other oxides is oxygen as well, and oxidizing compounds. That means that we only have to dump 3 different types of P1 into this planet to get it going, which is the biomass, oxygen, which goes into both, and then the oxidizing compound. The next planet is going to be doing the or microfiber shielding and also the biocells. Now, this planet will take the precious metals, the industrial fibers, the silicon, and also the biofuels. Same configuration. Do like 12 of one, 13 of the other, depending on how you want to configure it. I tend to go a little bit higher on the oxides, and also a little bit higher on the microfiber shielding, because you'll need a lot of that. The 4th planet is just your data chips and your gel matrix biopaste. It is going to take your superconductors, your oxides, your super tensile plastics, and also your microfiber shielding and your biocells, and it's just going to spit out your data chips and your gel matrix. I have it split for 12 and 12. You're not like, that's just to be able to blitz through it, right? You're not going to be able to facilitate, keeping those factories run 24 hours a day, but that's more like just dumping it all in there and letting it just get done super quick. Now, after all that process is done, your final step in the entire thing, the entire pipeline, is using the nanite repair paste BPO, which doesn't take any time at all to fully research. And it will take in your nanites, your data chips, and your gel mix with biopaste, and you will be just building nanite repair paste like crazy. Like right now, we have another job in for another 3,000 units or so, and we run these pretty much as we get data chips, as we get like everything. So we may run it like multiple times a week. Usually, we don't really save it up and try to get it, a really big job run all done at once. We constantly make sure that we are always producing that stuff. So even right now, we've got like 1.1 billion in nanite repair paste, which is like probably a couple weeks of producing with this setup, which is really nice. But that's going to be it. That is how you can make billions with just one account, one Omega. It does take a little bit of training. You do have to get those alts, trained into using the ships to go pick everything up, and the PI skills and all of that. And as just a little bonus, we'll talk about the skills required if you're wanting to set something up like this. Depending on what ship you want to use, that might change. But for your planet management, you're going to want Command Center upgrades 5. You're going to want interplanetary consolidation 5. That allows you to get all 6 planets up and running. You need remote sensing 3, and then planetology 3, so you can see densities and stuff like that. You don't really need advanced planetology or anything like that, but you really definitely need to prioritize Command Center 5 just to be able to have the most resources to do as many complex configurations as possible. And then obviously you just need to get your alts into like a, you can use Epinals, which is the Galante, PI hauler, or you can use a blockade runner like a crane, which I used for a long time. But we use the new infrastructure hold ships now because they can just hold a lot of PI, and they also have covert ops cloak. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, get notified for new EVE Online content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.